issues. The claims that Canadians get more back in rebates for their failed carbon tax has been proven false by the public budgeting officer. He said the largest net loss will be felt by Albertan families who will pay $2,773 in tax. And in a bid to look more virtuous to eco-radical groups, the Costly Coalition is going to jack up their failed carbon tax this Saturday. Why don't they axe the failed carbon tax and stop punishing families for eating, heating, and driving?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Environment.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every time we put forward an affordability measure, Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives vote against it, Mr. Speaker. But good news is coming to the prairies where the member and I live. As of April 1st, a family of 4 will receive a climate rebate up to $1,500 in Alberta and Saskatchewan, $1,000 in Manitoba. Mr. Speaker, this is going to help families. It's going to help families because the checks are going to arrive quarterly. 8 out of 10 families will benefit, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what the Conservatives have against good news.
The Honourable Member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
More misinformation. Every prairie province is going to pay more in carbon tax than what they get back, and it's proven by the public budgeting officer. And this week, the woke Liberal budget already uppercut every single household with an extra $40 to $100 in cost, all because the Minister of Inflation can't balance a budget.
I think I've warned already about calling each other names. I'm just going to point it out. I'm going to let the Honourable Member continue, but please treat each other with respect and in a parliamentary manner. The Honourable Member.
Start from the top. The minister that's responsible for the inflationary problem cannot balance a single budget in this country. And the more the Liberals go woke, the more Canadians go broke. Why don't they cancel their failed carbon tax and give Canadians a break?
The Honourable Minister for Rural Development.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives' lack of recognition of climate change and, frankly, lack of awareness of climate change is pretty frightening for me. In the southwest coast of my riding, where the impacts of hurricane are still being affected, the snow is melting. So my communities now are getting ready to rebuild infrastructure, rebuild bridges. And families, there are 105 families getting to rebuild their new homes because they've lost everything. I'm proud to be part of a government that has a plan to address climate change, and our plan is working. I'd like to hear what their plan is, Mr. Speaker.